Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another installment in our No Buff Rift Clear series. Today we will be having a look at a rift that is fairly straightforward, but you do have to be attentive to the specific clear conditions in order to have a good game plan going into clearing the rift. And that goes for a regular clear or a challenge type clear like we are attempting to do in this series. The biggest thing that you need to keep your eyes open for is what's required of the rift before you ever go in. Because with one of the clear conditions that is required here, you do a lot better knowing that there's certain things you need to do right off the bat. We'll be focusing on the level 26 Boost Defeat Elektra rift today. And things are fairly straightforward. We have seen boost type rifts before where both the damage that you deal and the damage that is dealt by your opponents is increased. So you just need to be a little bit tactful about how you go about making the connecting hits into your opponents. And this one doesn't have a time constraint on it, which is kind of what I prefer seeing, because it allows you to be a lot more thorough with how you are exploring your options. The biggest clear condition that you need to be aware of going into this fight is the stipulation saying that you need to defeat 45 enemies. Now, because I do quite a few speedruns of this game, I tend to just blitz past the opponents that I am encountering, because most of the fights in this game are optional unless you get to big chamber type area fights where multiple enemies are required to be taken down or there's a mini boss present. But where we need to defeat 45 enemies, there's kind of a finite number of enemies that are available at all. And you want to make sure that you are focusing on taking down those opponents whenever you come across them. So you will see as they poof in. This is the kind of tricky thing about the hand ninjas specifically, as they just kind of appear randomly throughout the fight. And if you're not knowledgeable about where they're going to show up, you could miss one or two of them. And that could potentially cost you the clear condition on your first run. But as long as you are taking your time and going through this particular series of fights, you should be able to take out those opponents with little to no issue and meet that 45 enemy cleared condition for this particular iteration of the challenge. The other thing that you need to be cautious to is you need to get through this fight with one or fewer teammate incapacitations, which again, as long as you are playing strategically, you really shouldn't have a big issue with. The only threatening area for me at least is that Elektra fight, and that is if you get caught up in a lot of her specific attacks. And that's the main reason why I bring characters like Black Panther into this fight, because his vibranium claws allow me to scoop in and melt through the stagger bar for Elektra and render her vulnerable to the follow-up attacks. And that is especially helpful because of the boost that is done to the damage dealt, where it also increases the rate at which we can wear down the stagger bar and render those opponents vulnerable to follow-up. So really that's the biggest thing that you have to watch out for. And if you're not using Black Panther for those type of approaching options, there are other members of the cast, but he is by far one of the best for quick wear downs of boss type characters. But what do you think? Do you think that there's anything that I missed about this fight? Do you think that there's things that I could do better? Are you enjoying this series? Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave that like if you did enjoy, and be sure to subscribe for that daily variety content. Thanks again for your time, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day.